What's up, YouTube? I have another battle here today with danny2911pt, and I met him on the Pokemon Wi-Fi chat, so let's go. So first he sends out his fairy, which is his Celebi, and I go out to the Batmobile because he's awesome. It's a Batmobile. So he sends in his Melodic. I go for the X-Scissor just because it's a safe move. I figure that if he does stay in and predict the prediction, it would I figured that I may as well go for it, because that if he goes for a Toxic on my Snorlax, because I'm a thick fat Snorlax, he goes for a Surf. It doesn't do all that much, and I actually predicted him to switch into Celebi or something like that, so I went for a Fire Punch. Turns out it was a bad prediction on my part, of course. So he goes for another Surf. He's just spamming Surf right now, and it's not doing a ton to me, but the Toxic damage is really what's going to rack up. I go for a Return. It does an alright amount, considering I don't think I have any attack EVs in this thing. It's a curse set. Alright, so since I don't want to take too much Toxic damage, and my Return didn't do over half, I figured he had recovered. I go into my Fatty, and he gets poisoned too, but he can take it a little bit better because he has Regenerator. So I go for a Calm Mind so I can just start getting some special attack and special defense. I figured he'd switch into Celebi. I just wanted to, just in case, I wanted to go and just use the Psyshock. It did an alright amount of damage, all things considering. So I have to switch out. Gets full health because of Regenerator, but I go into Toaster, who takes this Leaf Storm like a boss. It's not even a 2-hit KO, even without the special attack drop. So he goes into his Flygon, and I go for an Overheat. I figured it would do damage to just about anything, and even though it's not very effective, it nearly KOs. So I figured, well, I don't know what I figured there. I just thought, I don't know. Now I wish I didn't stay in. But I realized I can revenge kill with the Batmobile, and he could just go for next Scissor, safe move. I didn't want to give away my other move yet. He goes into his Jolteon, his T-Kitty, and I go into Snorlax just to take the Thunderbolt, although I'm expecting him to die within a turn or two, so I can get a safe switch into something else. Although he switches, which is always nice. I ended up going for the Earthquake. Like I said, I don't want to over-predict too much. If I over-predict a lot, then I always lose. Let's see. Take the Toxic damage, and then his Surf is going to take my Twinkies out. Unfortunately. You know, I always loved Twinkies. It's one of my favorite snacks growing up. Too bad I don't get many of them now. So now I go into Apollo Creed, who's this is like the little baby compared to Rocky. If you've seen any of my other Wi-Fi battles in my other channel, I use a Conkeldurr called Rocky, and this one's Apollo Creed, if you get the reference. So he goes for a Toxic, and that's actually a great thing because now I get the Guts boost. I don't know why he did that, but I'll take it. So I also went for a Bulk Up. Last turn I went for a Bulk Up, so I'm at +2 attack and defense. He goes for a Surf, and like before, it does nothing. And I go for a Drain Punch. I wasn't expecting a KO. I knew it would get over, and it would be at least a 2-hit KO after 2 Bulk Ups and a Guts, even though this thing is probably bulky. So I go for a Mach Punch just to finish it off. I'd rather not take the Surf damage. The amount of HP I'll get back is not worth that. So he goes into his Fairy, and I'm not going to just go for the Mach Punch. I could probably use his Mach Punch later. So I go into Semi-Fluffy, and no, I don't know where the namey thing popped in at the end. I don't know. The game just messed it up. But we all know he's Semi-Fluffy. So yeah, he went for the Leaf Storm, and I took it like a boss, obviously. So he goes into his, what's his name, Entei. And I go for a Stealth Rock, which is actually a great move for later. I definitely needed those. I just let him hit my Semi-Fluffy because I don't really have anything that could really take a Flare Blitz. And besides, I figured he'd get a lot of damage on himself. I go for a Thunder Wave just to slow him down, so I don't have to worry about So that way, basically, Slowbro should be able to outspeed that whole thing. So now I go into Slowbro, the fatty, and as you can see, he did get Regenerator, that's why he's probably the best thing I had to get poisoned. That's not, of course, Semi-Fluffy Bick. He goes out of Killer because obviously he expects me to go for a Scald, and I don't have anything that could hit a Celebi. All I have is Scald and Psyshock. I was thinking about putting Flamethrower, but I'd rather have the, what's it called? I'd rather have the Slack Off, that's what it's called. He goes for another Leaf Storm, and I live it like a boss. I mean, look at that. Way to go, Semi-Fluffy. Unfortunately, though, I think he's gonna KO me this turn, even though it's not very effective. And now I know basically he has to switch, because he has a -2 special attack. So I go into the Batmobile. I know this is my only chance to set up, because I know that I'm falling behind. I have something that's toxic. Two things that are toxic poison. If I'm correct, I have the wait. Do I have the Slowbro? Yeah, I think so. And so I go into Fatty, just because I don't want to take a Flare Blitz. And oh yeah, for that X-Scissor before, I didn't want to overpredict once again. I know that I might be able to, at this point I was thinking I might be able to win this game if I play the cards right. Of course, so I go for a Scald just to play it safe. And to be honest, takes the poison damage. To be honest, I know that my Crobat dual resists the Leaf Storm, but I really didn't want it to take it because I have a strategy and it needs to be close to full health if something gets to attack it, which is not too bad of a strategy later because his Entei ends up going for an extreme speed. So now I know that this is my chance to set up. This is the chance because I have Apollo Creed and what's his name? One other, I can't remember off my head. So I go for a Curse, and then the White Herb allows me to have my speed back, and then I go for an Acrobatics. You see the strategy there is when you use up the White Herb, it allows Acrobatics to have full power, and I get the attack and defense boost, which is always helpful. The speed boost has obviously been negated. And then somehow I outspeed the Jolteon and kill it with Acrobatics, which is always great. Maybe it was because of the Stealth Rocks. That's where I'm thinking the Stealth Rocks really mattered here. He goes for the extreme speed where if I took a Leaf Storm, I don't think it would have mattered. But at the time, I didn't really want my Crobat to take a Leaf Storm anyways. So he ends up KOing the O and the Entei, and then go for an Acrobatics and take out that Heracross. And it was a very close match. Great game. danny2911pt on YouTube. And well, hope you enjoyed the match, and see you next time.